Right, so a topic we're going to cover today is fasting. So you may have heard sort of on social media, in the news, a lot of people saying that basically fasting is this absolute godsend, and if you're not fasting, then you're going to be really unhealthy and that everyone should be fasting. Now, where I stand on this is a bit of both, really. It's not the be all and end all. It's not the thing that everybody has to be doing to be healthy. But at the same time, it can be a useful tool. So what I want to start with is why people say fasting is great. And there's a few things. People say that fasting is great because that's how you lose weight. Now, when I've talked about this a lot, but I'll just do a brief summary. So how you lose weight is being in a calorie deficit consistently over time. So you've got your basal metabolic rate, which is the amount of calories you need to eat to stay at the weight you are now. If we consistently eat more than that, we're in a calorie surplus and you will gain weight over time. If you are below that consistently, you are in a calorie deficit and you will lose weight over time. Now, fasting, people will lose weight on fasting because essentially you're cutting out a meal. So we're going to talk mainly about what's called intermittent fasting, which is where you have a small eating window in the day and then you fast the rest of the time. So usually people will start eating at, say, lunchtime and then stop eating sort of around 7 o'clock, 8 o'clock, and then they won't eat again until sort of 12 o'clock lunchtime the next day. So you get roughly like a 16-hour fast. Some people do it differently and they may do what's called like a 5-2, where you eat normally for 5 days of the week, and then on 2 of the days you eat substantially lower calories. But again, if you see that, they're just, by having substantial lower calories for those 2 days, you are just making over that week that you're in a calorie deficit. So that's how you're losing weight. And by doing the intermittent fasting, you are cutting out breakfast and any mid-morning snacks. So you're just cutting down the amount of food you're eating. And it's difficult to eat even more food in a shorter eating window than it is if you have the whole day. So when people say that's how you lose weight and it's great for losing weight, the reason is that it's just putting you in a calorie deficit and it's just making it easier to be in a calorie deficit. It's not anything magical about the fasting. Another thing that people say fasting is great for is what's called autophagy. So autophagy is basically, in very simple terms, in your body, it's where the cells you get rid of the waste cells and they recycle, and it's sort of like household cleaning for your body. So it gets rid of the damaged and old cells, recycles them and makes new cells. Essentially, that's what autophagy is. So when you are in a fasted state, autophagy is higher. You know, your body will do some more of this house cleaning when it's in a fasted state because it's not digesting food. Now, other things that put you in autophagy: resistance training, being in a calorie deficit. Those things sort of really, they put you in autophagy as well. So you don't have to be fasting to be in autophagy. So with fasting, you will have, so say in the bit where you're doing the fasting, you will have a higher rate of autophagy. But then in your eating window, because you're having to eat all of your day's calories in a short window, then in that window, your autophagy rate will be quite a bit lower. So you've got the high bit when you're fasting, but then it comes right down when you're in that eating window. Whereas if you're just on a calorie controlled diet, so say you're eating normally 3 meals a day, maybe a snack, but you're in a calorie deficit consistently over time and you're losing weight, then you'll just have a steady rate of autophagy. So instead of going right up when you're fasting and then right down when the fasting people are having to eat a lot in that window, you're just steady and you are in autophagy at a steady rate. So there's not actually any difference. And then if you are resistance training, so lifting weights, doing body weight training, doing some sprints, just doing like fairly hard exercise, your autophagy rate is higher as well. And you will probably have more energy because you are eating throughout the day. So you're not having these big fasted periods where you're then trying to train in those times, but your energy is lower. So If you're doing fasting for fat loss or autophagy reasons, that's fine, but just know you don't have to do that. Just because you're being told that is what you should do, you don't have to. There are other ways around it that may suit you. Now, I'm not against fasting whatsoever. I've used intermittent fasting with a lot of my clients because some people, not for the reasons that I've said, that people are claiming, but the main reason is just a lot of people don't want to eat breakfast. A lot of people aren't breakfast people. They just don't want to stomach food sort of early in the morning. Maybe you're really busy going to work sort of earlier in the morning, or you've got kids to sort out, school runs to do, and maybe you just don't have time and you don't feel like it. Whereas, later in the day, maybe 11, 12 o'clock, that's when you feel like you want to eat. So I say to people, absolutely fine. We'll just have your first meal then. So they are doing intermittent fasting, but not for the reasons that it's anything magical. It's just that it fits in with their lifestyle. So intermittent fasting can be great as just a lifestyle thing if it fits in with how you work, as in how you feel when you're eating, and your lifestyle. If you like breakfast, I like breakfast. If I'm up, I have a cup of tea, get myself ready for work, and then I'm hungry, so I want to eat breakfast. I don't then want to wait until 12 o'clock to have my first meal, because A, I've got a lot of calories to eat in the day, and also, like I say, I'd be starving by that point, so I just don't want to do it, and there's no additional benefit for doing it. So that is fasting covered. If you've got any questions, any further questions about fasting that maybe you're unsure about or you just want to know more about, pop some comments below and I will answer them for you.